It was a Democratic Party that fought for slavery. It was a Democratic Party that fought against the anti-lynching bill in 1918, put together by a Missouri Republican. It was a Democratic Party that put together Jim Crow laws. KKK was Jim Crow. By the way, Wall Street, Black Wall Street, destroyed by Democrats. The filibuster, you're right, it's been used to stop civil rights. Democrats have used it to do that.
Democrats have not delivered, even though they've had the House, both houses, as well as the White House. They haven't delivered specifically for Black Americans, and also quite specifically for descendants of slavery who make up the vast majority of the Black American population.
Breaking news, the left is a woke dumpster fire and you should leave the Democratic Party plantation immediately. For all the reasons why, up next on Project Mockingbird Media Group. Hello world. Welcome to Project Mockingbird Media, where we expose all the lies and propaganda of legacy media and Hollywood. I'm your host, Idol Vainglorious. America, we need to talk. In my first video, I explained why I voted for Donald Trump. In this video, I like to explain why I left the Democratic Party altogether and why I believe you should too. First reason, well, really the main reason, I'm a God-fearing straight Black man. My goodness. And I just don't feel like I fit on the left anymore. If I were to weigh in on certain political hot button issues with my biblical hot take, you know that won't go over well. And it is my belief that the left is truly comprised of, well, mostly women, feminists to be exact. Not all, but a lot of feminists. Older Black men, I would say younger, effeminate men, and of course the LGBTQIA plus community. And listen, I truly believe with my heart wholly that the left just hates God. They just do. Not everybody, of course, but enough. And if you want proof of that, well, let's get into my very first video.
According to a letter sent by the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office, they reviewed the case, but did not say exactly why charges will not be filed. The attack happened in September outside Riverside University High School. The victim, Nicholas Heald, was punched after holding up a graphic anti-abortion sign.
Right. Now, you might think that that's just an isolated incident, and of course, they would never do that again.
Arizona's family has learned that Schmidt was out street preaching at the intersection of 51st Avenue and Peoria in Glendale around 6 o'clock Wednesday night. It's something he reportedly did on a regular basis before helping lead weekly services at the Victory Chapel as the door director. At some point while Schmidt was on the corner preaching, someone came by, shot him in the head, then took off.
Just spreading the word of God. And that's what happens to you. Now, again, I don't believe everybody on the left feels that way, but enough do. Just like enough people care about women's rights. And, you know, I never liked that term because it implies that, I don't know, unaliving a child is a right. And I just don't believe that. But the left loves doing that so much. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when the Jews couldn't wait for Moses to come back down from the mountain and come back with the 10 Commandments. So they were so impatient that they worshiped a brand new god, Moloch, and sacrificed babies to it. And it's no different than now. No Moloch, of course, never was, but they just love doing it. If you want proof of that, watch this college student struggle to explain why she loves doing it so much, and then get owned in between.
I hear a lot of pro-lifers say that life begins at conception. So my poster reads, Life begins when you understand living women matter more than potential babies.
What is it?
What do you mean?
If it's a potential baby, what is inside of a woman?
It's a fetus?
Is it living?
No.
How can it grow if it's not living?
Actually, that's like saying if an acorn is a tree.
When does the fetus become living?
That's actually a good question, but that line...
Yeah, of course, because you don't know it. Because it's living. It's living.
You know, as a man, the left doesn't believe I'm allowed to weigh in on women's rights issues, mainly because I don't have a uterus. But here's the thing. The left's logic is so flawed, I don't have to have a uterus to be a woman. But here's the real kicker. The left can't even define what a woman is. You want proof? Allow me to show you.
Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that
dangerous.
trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question.
opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot
I
just in this
know,
exchange.
absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Infuriating. My God. But this goes as high as the Supreme Court.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah,
I can't.
you can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide. So I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
She's on the Supreme Court. Yeah, just let that sink in. Anywho, another thing absolutely destroying the left and I would say the world, feminism. My God. Why? Because modern day feminism is just man hate. It just is. You say that it isn't. You say it's about equal rights. Well, honey, we all have the same rights. Okay? But the difference is I don't hate you, but you on the left, women mostly, hate men. And don't just take it from me. Take it from Harry Potter's own Hermione Granger.
Women's rights has too often become synonymous with man-hating. If there is one thing I know for certain, it is that this has to stop.
Wow, guys. Wasn't she British? Listen, there's more to it than that. I truly do believe that these women, not all, but a lot of women on the left, mostly feminists, hate men. Let's get into it.
You cannot deny that feminism is a man-hating ideology.
I can deny that.
My problem is that I hate men, you know?
Yes.
So are you oppressed?
In some ways.
How?
One form of oppression that all women face is subjugation in the form of their sexuality. I think that women are forced to perform their sexuality.
What do you mean by perform their sexuality?
Like, I think that women become sexual objects in the eyes of the patriarchy. I think that a lot of men view themselves that way, and I think that a lot of women are comfortable viewing themselves that way.
Well, that sounds like zero accountability to me. You're putting the blame on men for women sexualizing themselves.
But you know what? Let's be fair. Let's get an educated woman's opinion on this.
Lots of women think it's like a female empowerment, I'm a strong woman thing to say that you hate men. On the contrary, when a woman says she hates men, it's usually a telltale sign that she has terrible, horrific experiences with men and that she allows toxic men into her life, into her love life, into her bedroom. The question isn't, are men toxic? Because there will always be toxic men and women in the world. The question is, why are all the toxic men in your life? Why have you allowed men to treat you so badly that you now hate them?
Let's talk about something that annoys me about the left. It just does. It irks me. It's all of the word policing. It's like, my goodness, I say something that you don't agree with, you're already ready with the cuffs, trying to lock me up and send me to jail. What would that be, word jail? Anywho, for an example, in legacy media, Clown News Network to be exact, watch this.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls' softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, like, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't, you're not, just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
But I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not intending. He wants to sit here and
I'm not calling you transphobic.
I
I'm saying you're using a phrase
I want to
that
give
you
you an
know.
opportunity.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not regular people. That's not regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and
case,
we're using
but my point in terms of its effectiveness.
Just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what, this is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that they were working.
In those ads over and over again and using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports. First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country.
You would prefer?
We're talking.
It's like he's trying to debate a child. I feel sorry for you, Sharmichael. And did you notice how Abby, the black woman, threw him under the bus? Typical. I mean, listen, black men get no love. Bottom of the totem pole. It is what it is. They just don't like us on the left. Again, I said I was a God-fearing straight black man. I have an opinion, and that's the main reason why I just don't fit on the left. Here's my thing. The left hates men. They just do. And it's not that they hate men, because they do. They also want to define what a man is. They want to define masculinity. And here's the thing. Not only do they want to define it, they want the authors of that definition to be women and gay men. I disagree. Look, you don't have to believe me. Just watch what they think of men.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it? We can't hide from it.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
It's been going on far too long. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy? What I actually think she's trying to say.
making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally changed.
Allegations regarding sexual assault and sexual harassment.
But she says
And there will be no going back.
But here's the thing, though. This is what they really want men to actually be.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man. And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast. I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want. Woman wants to be president? Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement. Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Ha! Gay!
Okay. So I'm sorry that I put you through that, but at the same time, no. I disagree. Not that I have a problem with supporting a strong woman. It's just not that one. But we're just scratching the surface here. Let's not make it seem like the left is not comprised of a bunch of weirdos. Come on now. And if you don't believe me, check me out.
The Chicago Tribune, 19 people were hospitalized at a furry convention in Illinois after what's being called an intentional leak of chlorine
What's
gas.
a furry convention?
Did I get that wrong?
A leak there. Oh, gosh.
Okay. Officials were called when a strong odor of chlorine spread.
I think they had to evacuate the building and everything. Sent the hotel guests along with convention attendees into the cold night, many still dressed in their furry costumes.
We have a lot of costumers out here with big fluffy costumes that'll keep people warm, so at this point, we're not at all worried.
So we've been pulling people into a cuddle to warm this baby.
No, thank you. Thank you.
And giving her our jackets and blankets.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's not even, because perhaps there are some Republican furries out there. I'm not condoning that, but I'm not condemning the entire community either. But I will condemn some of this nonsense.
Delivering 3 sermons tonight, each one to a different group of people. And this one is for the Trump supporters. You are going to hell for this. You're going to hell for that.
Well, it's happening. The family wants to know what I'm doing for the holidays. I'm going to be here with my dogs and my daughter, who is of childbearing age and now has to get an IUD at 17 years old. And I'm going to be here with my son, who is a political target. And that should really tell you all you need to know about why I'm not going to be hanging out with y'all for the holidays. So off, choke on your turkey. Bye.
To the men, if you voted blue, you're sexy as f***, you're super hot. If you voted red, you're probably closeted gay and you can never please a woman. Just saying.
Women who can divorce their husbands, I'm gonna need you to do it today. And who can't divorce their husbands, look up Aqua Tofana. I didn't say to do anything with it. I just said to look it up.
My choice. Yeah? Is that what you think? Because I'd love to paint this wall blood f***ing red. My body, your choice? How about your skull, my gun? Your neck, my sword. Your face, this pretty little fish.
I'm going to say it because I'm Australian and I live in Australia and I don't have to worry about the Secret Service or the FBI knocking on my fucking door. And even if they did, more than welcome to come over. I'll make them a fucking cup of tea. I wish the bullet didn't miss. You're welcome.
So in conclusion, America, I've left the Democratic Party for a lot of reasons. I truly can't be myself on the left, not in this way. I truly can't express all of my opinions on the left, not in this way. I truly can't speak openly without being word policed on the left. Not in this way. I truly feel that they hate men and hate God. But it's not too late for you if you're still on that side. You can come to the side of diversity, real diversity. You can come to the side that does not view you by your sex, your gender, your nationality, your ethnicity. They view you, if you are one, as an American. Because in this country, if you live here as a citizen, we all are under one umbrella of God that people on the right mostly acknowledge. This will be a multi-part series going into my explanation of why I left the left and interviewing people doing all kinds of things. So, I've been Idol Vainglorious. This is Project Mockingbird Media, and you have a glorious day.